If you're interested in getting a teaching license to teach in Washington, D.C., then you need to stay tuned to the end of this video. I will provide for you step-by-step guidance on how to apply for your teaching license. You will also learn about the different types of license they offer, their requirements, as well as where you should go to apply for this license. Also, exam requirements. Stay tuned, guys. So, stay tuned, guys. All of that and more to come in this video. Welcome back to my channel, guys. And in today's video, I will be sharing with you how to get a teaching license to teach in Washington, D.C., specifically for the people who are interested in District of Columbia. Now, if you are a follower from my channel, you would have known that District of Columbia, they do sponsor international teachers. And so we have teachers who want to be proactive in starting to get their teaching license so that they're more marketable for a job. Now, but guys, if you are new and you'd like to get on board for the next school year, maybe 25, 26, then definitely you need to subscribe to this channel as I will be bringing to you how to get a teaching license in all the states that subscribers listed in my video where I asked to say which school district or which state you would like to learn more about how to get a teaching license from them. So guess what? This is the first video, guys, and we're starting with Washington, D.C. Where else could we start? So you might be wondering why I need a teaching license. In the United States, to be eligible to teach, you need to have a professional license or some type of teaching certificate to show that you are qualified for your teaching role. So we're starting today with Washington, D.C., and we will talk about the steps or the requirements that they need. Now, stay tuned to the end of the video where I will show you snippets of what the website look like. That's the official website that you would go to apply for your Washington, D.C. teaching license. Also, I will be talking about the different types of license requirements for each. So without wasting any more time, let's get straight into it. Now, the Washington, D.C. offers four types of licensure for their teachers. Depending on your eligibility, depending on what they're asking for, you can determine which one of the license will fit your need. Also, if there are requirements that you don't meet as yet, you can also work towards meeting these requirements to get your licensure. I will share that as to how you can meet some of the requirements to get your teaching license in Washington, D.C. So let's talk about the different types of certification. So you may see the term certification or licensure or license, it's the same. So the different types of license that is offered in Washington, D.C., they have the initial license, standard teacher credential, they have the added teacher endorsement, as well as the 1 year provisional, license. So let's break down all of them and say which is which. So the initial teacher licensure, it's a non-renewable license. It's valid for 3 years. Okay, so it's non-renewable. In some states, for example, in South Carolina, they also offer the initial teacher license. I know if you are an international teacher, you're just coming off J1 and you go over to H1B, you may be granted that initial teaching license. And with that license, you basically cannot add any endorsement on it. You just have to maintain it for that 3 years and get your exams completed and get your standard license. So similar to that, this is what the initial teacher license is in Washington, D.C. You need to meet certain requirements for that, but it is not the same as your standard teacher credential that is offered to, teachers who are fully qualified. Now, if you stay tuned to the end, I will share with you the requirements for the initial teacher licensure. The next teaching licensure we talk about is the standard teaching license. This one is renewable. Oh, I did mention, if I did not, that the initial teaching license, it is um, it is valid for 3 years. Now, the standard teaching credential in Washington, D.C., it's valid for 4 years. It is renewable, but you must meet all the requirements to get this license. I will talk about the requirements shortly. The next one is the added endorsement. If you have a standard teaching credential license, then you can add other areas to your certification. For example, if your standard teaching certification is in primary education or general education and you'd like to teach, for example, special education, you can go and do the exam for special education, or you'd like to teach maybe arts and craft or PE, depending on the courses that they allow you to add on in Washington, D.C., you can do those exams and get those added to your standard license. And now you're eligible to teach that area that you were first initially eligible to teach. And now this add on endorsement is added to it. And the last one we'll talk about is the 1 year provisional license. Now, the 1 year provisional license, it's non-renewable. It's like the initial teacher certification or the initial teacher credentials. They're non-renewable. And for the 1 year provisional, in most cases, if you're offered a job in Washington, D.C., and you meet certain requirements, they will offer you this license through the school district. They will basically start the process for you to get this license. It's just for 1 year. And so you need to do your credential checks like your exams and other important things in order to get or move on to your initial teacher license, which is for a duration of 3 years. All right, so just a little snippet. Those are the 4 types of license that they offer. We're going to talk about the requirements for each, and then we're going to talk about how to apply for this license. This is the official website where you would apply for your teaching license for Washington, D.C. I will leave the link in the description below. It is called the Office of the State Superintendent of Education, and for short, they call it OSSI. So, if you are trying to apply for your teaching license in Washington, D.C., this is the official webpage for that. If you notice, they talk about the 4 teaching licensure or the 4 teaching license that I just spoke about, but let's talk about the requirements for each. So here is the initial. You're going to need a completed program admission verification form, identity history summary check. You're also going to need your credentials to be evaluated. And for those who have been members of this platform, you know you can get a $20 discount to get your credentials evaluated through Spantron. And for you to, and also to let you know, Spantron will be changing its name. Look out for a name change from Spantron in the near future. Also need a passing test scores for an approved basic skills reading, writing, and math exams, or that can be waived if you have a GPA of 3.0 or higher. Okay, you can read up some more about that to see what is needed for your initial license. All right, so other than the initial license, we also have the standard license, and these are the requirements for the standard license. You have completed an approved teacher certification program. You meet criminal history background requirements. You hold at least a completed bachelor's degree, and you have a passing test scores for all exams required. Now, let me clarify what this means. For your initial license, you might just need to pass the content area. For example, when in South Carolina, to get a license to teach early childhood, you need to do the content area for early childhood. And you also need to do your PLT. Now in Washington, D.C., for the initial license, you can only do the content area, but if you need your standard license, then you're going to need to do your PLT as well. And that's why they say for all the exams required. You can read up some more to see what are the other options, and you have option 1, option 2. All right. That's for your standard license. Let's look at the next one, which is the added endorsement. And notice at the bottom of each page, you will see apply now and you can start. And I will tell you after you apply now, what would be your next step. All right. So for your added on endorsement, it says an added teaching endorsement is a teaching certification that enables an individual to demonstrate qualifications to teach an additional subject area, as I would have informed you earlier. You're going to need to pass the exam in that subject area. You're going to need other requirements that are listed here: identity, history, summary, check. And for subject areas where ASCII has not adopted a subject content, applicants must submit test scores for the required exam. So that's if you want to add on. And then we have the 1 year provisional license. And I did mention for the 1 year provisional, you basically, once you get a job in the state, you can be allowed to get this 1 year provisional license. It's for aspiring DC teachers with a pathway to a credential, or you were offered a job, but you and the requirements are you should have an earned bachelor's degree, 3.0 or higher in your GPA, and the requirements are listed there. You can find some more information on that. But now you're wondering, what do I do next? If I have or if I meet these requirements, what do I do? You hit the button that says apply now. So once you say apply now, so before we go into what comes after apply now, let me show you the web page that you would go to create an account, because the first thing you would have to do to start the procedure is to create an account. After you create an account, then you're going to again review the requirements to make sure you have everything that is needed and you are ready to apply. Then you're going to need to scan those documents and have them ready, label them properly so you can upload them in the correct areas with the correct labels. Once you start your application process, you basically follow step by step and then you pay the required fees. Once you have submitted your application, you will automatically start getting emails from OSSI, which is the Office of the State Superintendent of Education, which is the credentialing body for teaching licensure in Washington, D.C. I know it's a lot, and sometimes it can become overwhelming when you are applying for these teaching licensure. It is doable. First of all, let me tell you that it is doable. Take your time, go through the website. I'm going to be leaving the links below. However, if you need one-on-one guidance, I'm here for you. You can always sign up through my website, supremacyconnect.com. You can get a one-on-one session through my website. Under Work with Us, you will find different services to include one-on-one consultations or group consultations, or sessions where you can come back after. Also, you can sign up for a 1 year subscription where we work together for a year, and I'm basically guiding you through the process. So if this seems overwhelming, don't hesitate to sign up, get your one-on-one consultation so I can go through the process with you step by step on how to get your teaching license to teach in Washington, D.C. Also, if you are going to be doing your exams, that's the next thing I should have said. Some of the requirements you're going to see that you need to do your praxis. The praxis exam is the one that they accept in Washington, D.C. It can be done online. You just want to make sure when you apply to do your praxis, you select that you want to do it remotely. Don't pay the money and go all the way in and then try to figure out that you want to do it remotely. Once you are applying to do that exam, you want to select that you want to do the exam remotely. Now, you might need materials also to study for the exams. I'm going to leave a link in the description below where you can get a 25% off study.com to study for your praxis exam. So study.com have helped a lot of teachers with their teaching licensure exams, and they do provide materials for praxis. So if you are going to be considering to do your Washington DC license, study.com, you can check them out. They have helped a lot of teachers, and not just teachers. They have helped people who are just doing college courses or high school students who need information on, different course materials. But if you use my code, the link is going to be in the description below. Use my code to get a 25% off your first month. I hope I didn't leave anything off for getting a teaching license for Washington, D.C. If you got to the end of this video and you are appreciative of this information, go ahead and put in the comment section below. Got it. Okay. Now, share this video with somebody who might need to get more information on how to get a teaching license in Washington, D.C. If there's something that you're not sure or clear on, put that also in the comment section below and I will respond. All right. So let me share with you quickly where you would go now to apply for the license. Okay, so if you're seeing this screen says the Educator Credentialing Information System, ECIS. If you notice to the right corner there, it says District of Columbia, Office of the State Superintendent of Education. So you see it's still same connection. All right. So you definitely, as I mentioned earlier, the first thing you're going to need to do is to create an account. I would have mentioned that earlier. The first thing you're going to need to do is to create an account, and then it says preparing to apply for your educator credential. You need to review the requirements, collect and scan PDF, just as I shared with you earlier. It's right there. If you need additional information, take your time, go through the website. You got this. They also have a contact information here. If you need information, you can contact them at this email that says aussie.licensure@dc.gov. So guys, that's it to your step-by-step guide to apply for your teaching licensure to teach in District of Columbia. Yes, just to recap, for your 1 year provisional license, you would not need to do your exam. You would not need to do the practice license initially, but take in mind or take into consideration it's only valid for 1 year. So you need to be proactive and jump on it and start working on your exams. Note also that the exam that is accepted in Washington, D.C. is the praxis. Now, if you get your initial license, again, you would only need to do your content area, and then to move on to your standard credential license, you need to do your PLT as well. As I mentioned earlier, you can always reach out to Ozzy to get more information. I am sharing this information from experience. So you go ahead and do your research. If you're not clear, reach out for your one-on-one consultation. I'm definitely here to help you, guide you through the process, and help you step by step along the way. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. Be on the lookout for the next state. I will not tell you which state will be coming, but I did take notes, guys. I have taken notes, and I will be sharing another state on how to get teaching license for that state. So if you've not subscribed to this channel as yet, go ahead and subscribe. Turn your notification bells on, and don't forget to share this video with someone who may need this information. Bye, guys. Remember to leave a comment in the section below, and don't forget to subscribe.